fact, this is undisputed, that Hunter Biden has gone around the world getting sweetheart deals because of his family's name. Now, the question has been, has Joe Biden also benefited from that? So now, from Tony Bobulinski's testimony and from the emails that he's presented from this laptop, it shows that Joe Biden possibly did get a 10% stake in this deal. He was labeled as the big guy, and Tony Bobulinski says there's no doubt in his mind that the big guy is him. So this raises some pretty serious questions that the Bidens have to answer. Is he the big guy? Are the emails real? Did he meet with Tony Bobulinski? These should be very simple questions. And when asked, they say, oh, those questions have been answered. No, they haven't. The American people deserve to know this. We're about to have an election and potentially elect a president that's compromised by the Chinese Communist Party, because this energy company has direct ties to the Communist Party.
Yeah, indeed. Well, let's
I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's a big
transition
statement.
because it has to be replaced by renewable energy over time. And I'd stop giving to the oil industry, I'd stop giving them federal subsidies.
Will you remember that, Texas?
Well, and now you've put together an ad with oil workers. Watch this, folks.
If Democrats destroy the oil and gas industry, I will have a way to
Feed my family.
Pay my bills,
We'll make a living.
I'm an oil and gas worker.
please don't take my job away.
It's pretty simple. Don't take my job away. Don't transition me to unemployment.
And that's exactly what a vote for Democrats is, and that's what this ad is about. We have over 250,000 workers here in Houston that are begging Democrats stop threatening their job. There's millions throughout Texas. There's even more millions throughout the country. All right, and what does this mean? What does an attack on our energy sector mean for America? It's not just the loss of millions of jobs. It's higher electricity prices. It's rolling blackouts. Just look at California. This is what happens. And you know what else? It's higher global emissions. You know why? Because as it turns out, energy demand throughout the world will increase by 25-30% over the next couple of decades. So who's going to provide that energy? It's going to end up being Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran. Russian natural gas has 47% higher emissions than U.S. natural gas. So Democrats want to destroy U.S. natural gas, prevent us from exporting cleaner natural gas to the world, which, by the way, is responsible for reducing emissions in the U.S. down to 1990 levels. So you're going to have, under Democrats' Green New Deal, you're actually going to get higher global emissions. This is how crazy their plan is. Destroy American jobs, destroy the American energy sector, destroy our American energy independence, and it's bad for the environment. You can't vote for these people. I mean, their plans are so awful and so bad for Texas and for our economy and for the world.
Yeah, you heard him say, I'm going to get rid of this industry. People are going to be out of work. How are they going to pay their bills? What would you do without your job? I mean, I'd have to move back home with my parents. It doesn't even make sense why a candidate would go up there and say that, because all these people now are probably not going to vote for him as a result. Now, Nancy Pelosi's talking about, first of all, Nancy Pelosi not passing relief money for these people who are out of work, and also she wants to take court packing a step further. Listen to this.
Should we expand the court? Well, let's take a look and see.
Right.
But not, and that relates to the 9 district courts. Maybe we need more district courts as well.
Dan, what's your response to that?
You know, it's mind-blowing. I hope the American people are paying attention. I mean, let's take a step back here. What are they really saying? They're saying if we get the Senate and the presidency and the House, it's not enough power for us. We need more power. We need more court packing. That's an insane thing to say. So all those radical policies, destroying our energy sector, raising your taxes, opening up our borders, opening up to China more, allowing them to walk all over us, all of those radical policies, they have to implement them somehow. So how do they implement them? Well, they need more power. They need to pack the courts. They need to fundamentally change the institutions of our republic. And let's not forget, these people have a fundamentally different view of why a court even exists. See, conservatives understand that a court exists to interpret the law as it is written. Amy Coney Barrett had to remind all of us of that. That's a very important and quite simple role of the judiciary. Democrats don't believe that. They believe that the judiciary is there to act as an additional legislature, to implement their outcomes that they like the most. That's what they're doing. That's why they want to pack the courts. It's a very scary thing. They want to completely remodel our institutions just to implement their radical agenda. And I'm begging Americans, you have to notice what's going on. You have to see this for what it is. It's a power grab that is unprecedented in history, and we can't give it to them.
Right, it's there in the platform for the DNC, and it's there when Ilhan Omar talks to Axios. That is the policy. Thanks so much, Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Best of luck in your race, too.
Good to meet. Good to be with you guys. Thanks.
All right, meanwhile.
She was off to see the lieutenant governor.
This is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went over to the Peninsula Hotel and I sat with Jim Biden for 2 hours, where Jim Biden walked through his history and his own words, stating all the work and effort he did to get Joe Biden elected initially in Delaware, and then through the family history and the role that he had played in it. And in that meeting, remember, I'm the son of a naval officer. I'm a naval officer, was a naval officer myself. And because I held a Q clearance, which is the equivalent of a top secret clearance, we're audited every year. So if you receive a gift, I think the barrier was $25. Anything larger than $25, we had to disclose it to the government, because obviously anybody with a clearance, the government is watching closely that they're not influenced by the Russians, the Iranians, the Chinese, and stuff like that. So as I was listening to Jim walk through this, I have a big heart. If you talk to anybody who knows me, they would weigh in on that. I'm a kind person, and I'm thinking about the Biden family. Like, how are they doing this? I know Joe decided not to run in 2016, but what if he ran in the future? Aren't they taking political risk or headline risk? And I remember looking at Jim Biden and saying, how are you guys getting away with this? Like, aren't you concerned? And he looked at me and he laughed a little bit and said, plausible deniability.
He said that out loud?
Yes, he said it directly to me, one-on-one in a cabana at the Peninsula Hotel after about a hour and a half, 2 hour meeting, with me asking out of concern, how are you guys doing this? Aren't you concerned that you're going to put your brother's future presidential campaign at risk? The Chinese, the stuff that you guys have been doing already in 2015 and 2016 around the world. And I just can almost picture his face where he sort of chuckles and says, plausible deniability.
So he said, this is a man who's been drafting off his brother's political career for almost 50 years. He said to your face, essentially, we're lying about it.
Anyone watching this interview can look up what plausible deniability means, and the definition is very distinct.
That's remarkable. So I just want to...